Welcome to the Lodge. You've accessed
The Lodgecast Experience.
Warning, warning, dangerous spoilers ahead. Enjoy.
Oh, it's so hot.
Hot! 86 degrees.
Oh,
Hot, hot.
It is hot today.
90 degrees today, folks.
We
Valley.
have a hot take. Movie that probably everybody's seen by now.
But not with their MoviePass, though.
Oh man. Well, okay, so let's set the scene. We went to the theater today to see Mission Impossible Fallout, and there's been some struggles, shall we say, with the MoviePass Corporation over the weekend.
Since Thursday night, when the Mission Impossible Advanced preview screening started, everyone and their uncle started using MoviePass to see it, and pretty much bankrupted and liquidated MoviePass's, holdings. So by today, we all had to suck it up and
we paid for it.
$18.50.
Oh my god!
Oof.
I can't believe it. And we even my failsafe Cinemia, coincidentally, their servers failed today. So I think Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise, Zeno, they're bringing out everybody. Everybody's crashing all the systems for this movie.
Yeah.
Truth.
Well, let's just mourn a little moment of silence for the death of MoviePass.
God. What? Fear not, though, loyal listeners, because talk is already upon us to spread out, maybe get the AMC
Or the Regal.
I mean, my big thing is that we have to change the theme song slightly.
man.
Let's not talk about it.
Anyway, we'll get past
We'll
it.
burn that bridge when we get to
Yeah.
it.
And maybe
credit cards.
using life savings. But anyway, we came here to dish out our hot take about Mission Impossible Fallout. Where is everybody in their Mission Impossible fandom? Like, were you guys pumped for this, or do you feel like we're a little late in the game here, or what are you feeling?
I've seen them all. I can't say I remember like a lot of the details of all of them. I remember action sequences in different ones. The last one, what was it? Rogue Nation. I was not thrilled with, and it was the same director, probably writer. You wrote that too, right? I don't know. And so I wasn't like looking forward to it, but then the reviews were in. They were good, so I was
The
like,
reviews have
all
been
right.
very good.
I was like, let's do it. Let's do it.
Lucas, where are you at?
Yeah, no, I was pretty hyped on this installment because I believe I have officially seen this trailer more times than any other trailer for any other movie in my
so
entire
many
life.
times.
And we were all joking and quipping going into the theater that we were going to see the Mission Impossible Fallout trailer before seeing Mission Impossible Fallout.
It would have been appropriate.
Because it would have made perfect sense, yeah.
I'm jumping out of a window.
Yeah, so I actually have grown up owning the first film that Brian De Palma did on standard DVD and now Blu-ray, and my second favorite was the Brad Bird installment number 4, Ghost Protocol. But yeah, like Bishki, I didn't really love the last one, Rogue Nation, and I think, Christopher McQuarrie is a really talented writer. I'm not sure he's like a visionary action director. I think he works better on a smaller scale. I think when you go big, it's really, really hard, and I feel like
You got reservations.
yeah, I got reservations.
Justin, what's your Mission Impossible status?
Well, I am very fascinated by the franchise because they're all good in their own way. They used to be a little more unique early on. I think John Woo did one. And so they kind of had their own flavor. Now they're a little bit more homogenous, but there are always spectacular action set pieces. Tom Cruise is the most fearless actor ever.
Yeah.
He does some insane
literally.
shit. So they're event movies, they're well-reviewed movies, people enjoy them, but for reasons that I would like your feedback on, everyone seems to forget them, and then we go into one, and it takes you about 20 minutes to remember who everyone is.
Yeah.
Ving Rhames is in the van.
Ving's
Simon
been there
Pegg
since the day one.
is the comic relief. I don't even remember when he showed up.
I think 4.
He was in
maybe?
JJ, I think.
Or he was in 3?
3.
Yeah. And so there's just something missing, and I can't quite put my finger on what it is. Why we can't seem to really get invested in this franchise? Because if we see a Marvel movie, I remember exactly where we're at, what happened, who's where.
It's like if you have like a really kick-ass dream where you're doing a bunch of awesome shit, and you're like, I'll never forget this. And then the second you wake up, you're like, I have no clue. It was epic, though. Yeah. It was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you remember the tentpole moments, but like when Alec Baldwin showed up, I'm like, was he in the other one? And I was trying to think, and I was like, oh, right, he got shot, and then they left him on the side of the road in Abu Dhabi, and then the squad came, and then I realized that was Kurt Russell from Fast and the Furious. So I don't remember how much Baldwin was involved.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rebecca Ferguson was in the fifth one, the last one, and plays a big supporting role in this one, and I honestly had no recollection of her at all.
I don't have
zero. So I was missing out on a lot of the subtext and angles on this.
I didn't remember if she was a love interest. The only thing I remember about her is everyone made a big stink about Bryce Dallas Howard wearing heels in Jurassic World, and then Mission Impossible came out, and Rebecca Ferguson was like wearing boots and was capable and was going toe-to-toe with Tom Cruise, so everyone was like, everyone jumped on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
And that's all I remember.
Well, so that sets the stage for the high emotional stakes of Mission Impossible Fallout. There's a lot of relationship of who knows who from where, and how are they double and triple crossing each other, and to me, it's like the characters in these movies never really resonate. So I don't give a flying shit, and I end up just finding myself waiting for the next tentpole action scene.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing anybody making these movies really cares about.
Yeah, it hits the marks. You know the action sequence is going to be coming up, and they're spaced out enough but you don't get thoroughly bored between them. But
I was pretty bored. I have to tell you guys. Like,
I looked at my watch an hour in.
There's so much planning in this one.
A lot of exposition, a lot of talking, a lot of dialogue.
Setting it all up. And I know that's like...
I feel like all of them are like that, but this one, it just felt like there was more of it. Like, a lot more of it. Especially that opening, like, mission, like, exposition thing. It was like, oh my god. Yeah, like, this is so clunky and boring.
I know that comes with the territory, because you gotta set up
spell everything
the
out.
Intricate mission before they do it. But it just felt like this one went way too long on that. Like, it feels like if you were to maybe, is it 2.5 hours long? Maybe if
at least.
You chop off
most of the other ones are like a little over 2. This one was 2.5.
If you chop off the last half hour, everything gets a little vacuum formed and is more exciting. But this one, like, I'm falling asleep between the tent poles. And the tent poles, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know where you guys are at, but if, like, seeing another car chase in a European city,
that was a snooze fest. I mean, and part of it is our fault, right?
I know,
because
we've
just seen too much.
We've seen too much.
Right. Well, it's very well done. There's nothing technically wrong with it.
Well, you have to take that into account, though. If a really well shot, like 6 month to 2 year planned car chase through a European city
looked great.
But we've seen it. You did nothing different. And that's
Tom
on
Cruise
you.
was doing his own stunts, but to what extent? Like, it wasn't Jackie Chan extent.
Even the Halo jump, which I heard a lot about going in, it was just almost arbitrary and didn't really do anything to the story or plot. It's like...
What was that again?
The Halo jump where he saves Henry Cavill. That was all real, for Tom, at least. I know Henry Cavill was on green screen, but Tom did the jump, I think, 40 times to film the sequence. But at the end of the day, it's like...
To what end?
Yeah, right. Like, how like, it's like in the last one, in Rogue Nation, with him hanging off the outside of the plane, it's like, okay, it's an amazing stunt, but, it doesn't add up to anything.
I think if the end credits had, like, Jackie Chan-style Tom Cruise...
Outtakes?
Semi-outtakes.
That'd be amazing.
Like, bloopers and outtakes.
That would be amazing.
That would be great. But we don't know how much... because everything looks CG now. So
Yeah.
Well, one thing
and going back to the opening credits, do all these movies summarize the entire
no.
movie in the
That
opening
was
credits?
fucked up.
There's
I
like
think
a
they do.
montage.
They did that in the first film. I think they do that in every
they show
film.
clips
That
from
is-
the movie in
that
every
is
movie.
weird as
Yeah.
fuck to me.
Okay, yeah. The opening credits of this movie show highlights from the movie you're about to watch. I look down at my lap. I'm like, this is fucked up. Like, this is dumb. But is that every one of these?
Pretty sure. I might be wrong, but I know the first film did that. I think.
Weird.
I
I will say, I thought the opening of the movie was very, very strong.
Yeah.
There's
Wolf
a bit,
Blitzer?
yeah. There's a bit of a fake out, which I actually, even without the fake out, I think I would have been a little more invested because it got pretty grim
it got
for a
dark
second
really
there.
quick.
Yeah.
I did.
No, I was like, they are going for what
I
the
know.
fuck?
I know. I was pretty taken off my seat too in that opening.
But no, it was a good reveal of Wolf Blitzer, or
yeah.
Simon
Wolf Blitzer
Simon
fake
Pegg
out.
in a Wolf Blitzer mask.
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
bless Wolf.
Like, the movie should, like, I like more of that kind of shit. Like, we have to infiltrate this or that, and you have to wear, all these different disguises. Like, I like that more than the big, like, car chase shit. Like, if they could have balanced the chase with, kind of up close kind of tomfoolery that they do, Tom Cruise foolery, I don't know.
I like the big techno party at the beginning. That was fun. I don't know where that was.
What does everybody think about Henry Cavill?
The $1 million mustache man.
I thought he was good
all I
when
could
he
think
was
of.
like straight-laced CIA, but when he flipped, I was like, I don't know if
Really?
he's evil enough.
Oh, I thought I had the different.
The
I had
reverse?
the
Okay.
opposite. I thought he was hilariously bad in the early going. Like, I don't
was
know
like
what the fuck that was.
He was like The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson and the other guys, where they're like the token good cops,
Yes.
but they're kind of
Yes.
shitty, but they're very like comedically
like,
reckless.
if you nudge him 1 centimeter, it's a comedy.
I mean, it was ridiculous. Where he's like, "What's the matter, Hunt? Afraid of a little lightning?" And he jumps out of the plane. It's like, is this played for laughs?
But
like,
if they ended up fucking in it, that would have been great.
Yeah.
But they didn't. But they had more sexual chemistry than anybody else.
I agree.
Oh my
Very
god.
homoerotic.
He's like he's checking out Ethan at every turn. They're looking at each other, kind of smirking.
And
It's like,
the trailer like telegraphs that he's the bad guy because there's a clip in the trailer because I've seen it a million times of him shooting the Gatling gun at the helicopter.
Yeah.
So you go in knowing he's like a double cross, so that way when it finally reveals it, it doesn't really land the way it should because you're like,
But-
yeah, wait,
Well,
this
and-
should have been in like in the first act as far as I'm concerned, not
Well,
like
and-
2 hours in.
and what's really strange about that is the trailer's cut in such a way
Yes.
that makes the fight in the bathroom seem like he's fighting Tom
we
Cruise.
Yeah.
we got
And he's
triple
not.
crossed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we did.
Quadruple crossed.
Yeah, we did.
What does everybody think of the big set pieces being? We talked a little bit about the big car chase, but I guess the big one in this, well, there's him jumping around on the rooftops where he supposedly broke his ankle.
Yeah, they had to keep
But-
everyone on the payroll for 8 weeks doing nothing so they wouldn't take other jobs. You know how expensive that is for all the below the line?
That's amazing. But I think the big one that people are going to remember from this, obviously, is the helicopter daring do. Him and Cavill chasing each other around in the choppers. What did you guys think of that?
Well done, serviceably directed.
It was
I
good.
like-
Those need that one uninterrupted shot where you can kind of take it in.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of cuts.
There was a
lot of
cut.
effects.
Yeah, it took a lot of the
It
momentum
takes a lot out of
Yeah,
it.
it's herky-jerky. I thought it was getting interesting, but it just, every time it would get interesting, it would cut back to, them finding the nuclear bomb or whatever.
Some of the angles were real nice in the chopper sequence.
Yeah. Still got the charm.
And do you think he does? Like, do you think there's plastic surgery afoot? Because I feel like
Oh, for sure. He gets like laser treatments on his face
Or,
to
like-
stimulate collagen or
like
Botox. or whatever.
Xenu
He doesn't
virgin
cut. He doesn't
bloodbath.
cut. He doesn't
Yeah.
cut or go under the knife, but he's getting laser treatments for sure.
okay.
Okay.
Because I think some
Or that cryogenic ice cold like shit that people do. That those like ice baths they take.
like sometimes when he's looking real haggard, like if people are beating the shit out of him or whatever in this, you can see the kind of veneer on his face slip a little bit, and you can kind of imagine him as if he would have let nature take its course, like as an almost 60-year-old.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering do you think he's gonna just
Go gray like Paul Newman? Never. Never.
You think he'll
Never.
try to stay in this mold
Yes.
forever?
Yes.
In
his mind, if Liam Neeson can do it, then so can he. So he's already probably planning the next 10, 20 years of his golden years.
Well, I
There's
think
certainly going to be another Mission Impossible.
Yes.
Oh, for
If not
sure. Oh, for
5
sure.
more.
And he's got, I mean, it's going to be interesting to watch him because he's got the means to indulge in whatever the newest systems are to keep you young.
Yeah.
And
And he also has like the incentive. He has to prove that Scientology without
Yep.
medical interference.
I heard like a Scientology mantra where he's like, I won't let you down. I won't let you down. Like, that is
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, like, honestly. Like, that's him literally being himself. Like, I won't let you
forever
down. I won't let you down.
and beyond.
I don't let anyone down. I am superhuman. I am the hero. I am the savior.
Yeah.
Are there any other points of interest people want to discuss in this adventure?
I was really disappointed that we didn't get to see a beard 3D printed.
Oh,
because
yeah.
the villain, very prominent, scraggly, I've been in jail beard, and they had to print his face, and they didn't show it.
They didn't show the beard get printed.
Wanted to see a beard.
They
get
all had to,
3D
like,
printed.
shave their pubes to, like, get the beard hair, like, on the mask.
That would have been great. Yeah, what? It was a
Ving-
long movie. It was a
Ving,
long movie.
I like
Yeah.
Ving. He's looking old. I think he's 59.
Yeah.
But even
And-
Simon Pegg, too, you know, it's like, it's hard to suspend disbelief when it's like, okay, if Simon Pegg and Ving Rhames are, like, the two computer guys, I got it. But if Simon Pegg is, like, going underwater with a blowtorch, like, doing a lot of physical, it's like, I don't buy it. Like, I'm sorry. I mean, maybe if he was 20 and, like, actually ripped, but he's not in physical shape the way Tom Cruise or, you know, anyone is. Even Ving Rhames, as much as I love him, it's just kind of silly to see all of them trying to act like they're in peak condition,
Well,
and
yeah.
really they are all past their due date. Even Simon Pegg
It's-
or Rebecca Ferguson.
I'm
for
not
that
going to
matter.
cry if they die necessarily.
I feel like there's a lot of dead-eyed performances in this. If
Yeah.
not the whole way, then just at certain moments, I'm reminded of this video movie guide I used to read when I was young. Gave Return of the Jedi like a much lower score than the others, and I was like, "What? This is blasphemy! What the fuck is this?" And the review was like, "Late in the game, lazy performances," and I'm like, "What? Lazy? Are you kidding me? They saved the galaxy." And then later you watch it, and you're like, "Oh shit, Harrison Ford doesn't want to be there."
Yeah, I think
that's-
everyone's exhausted.
They're exhausted.
And it could be like shoot like week 17, and they're all just like, oh, all right,
Right.
where's the bomb? Where's the?
That's kind of what it feels like for this.
Also, we dodged a bullet with the crowd because there was a lot of talking.
there was-
As
Oh, man.
someone who was clearly
There was a
What's
guy
that
with
guy?
Tourette's. There was a guy with Tourette's who got scolded. Like,
Did he
or-
get kicked out?
Was
Or
it Tourette's?
I think he did get kicked out.
He did.
He was
I
okay.
saw him get escorted
I
out.
don't think he had Tourette's. I think he was just a little nutty
or drunk?
because he was choosing what he was saying. Like he was.
Yeah, there was like a
He was
there was like a
heckling.
J.J. Abrams trailer, and he was like, "Oh, bad robot, you know what to do. Like, you get him, J.J., get him."
He was
Yeah.
he was escorted out, and he looked a little drunk. Like his legs were a little drunk walk. So,
Yeah, I think so.
I think he was just.
I mean, that was our fault for seeing the movie at 3:50 p.m.
Yeah, I think he was lit up on a Sunday afternoon, looking for some fun. We need to mention Wes Bentley.
and his tea.
I don't know, like what is he gonna figure into the next one somehow?
No
Like,
way.
no.
Man.
Why do you bring?
No
like,
way.
Was
He's
this
just
a
got a good
favor?
agent. He's just got a really good agent.
Wes Bentley just shows up at the end
Yeah.
as Ethan Hunt's.
Wes Bentley should have been Henry Cavill's like younger, like
Sure.
deformed brother or something. You know, like one of the apostles or whatever.
Yeah,
But
that
no.
was a weird performance and a weird role for him to pop up in.
He had some moments too that you and I were chuckling at, like when Michelle Monaghan leaves the tent to go help Ving Rhames, and he kind of looks at her go, you know, as he's packing. You know, it's
Yeah.
this funny little beat.
It's hilarious. It's like a different movie when he steps in.
I forgot. I saw his name in the opening credits, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, cool. And then like you totally forget, so that when he does show up, you
It's-
just can't help but laugh for some reason.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's
I don't
a
know.
Bentley surprise.
got a
Yeah,
big-
I don't know
like a big
why.
smile from
I don't know
Bentley.
why.
All right. Well, let's hit the bones. This is a hot take. We don't want it to get lukewarm.
Yeah.
Bishki, what do you got?
Well, I have a few more words. Like
Sure.
the world. Okay, this goes in my bone cup. But
I love it.
the world we live in today. You know, I'm very hungry for a Bond film. It's like overdue. We need, you know, we've got.
You want a new Bond?
I'm just saying.
You want Idris Elba?
No. We need another Bond film, just in terms of like foreign affairs. Lots of stuff to work with out there that's going on in the world. This is pretty generic.
Sure.
Nuclear bomb, crazy man plot.
I mean, at one point you even have Rebecca Ferguson tied to a chair with like a gag in her mouth with a bomb nearby.
Yeah.
And it just reeks of like those old silent movies where the woman's tied up on the train tracks. You know?
It's like global affairs is feeding you stuff to work with here, and this is all you can come up with. So that being said, I'm looking forward to Bond next year, and hopefully they can master that. I know Mission Impossible doesn't get into the geopolitics too much, but anyway, the movie's serviceable. It hits all the marks for a Mission Impossible movie. It's the action sequences I thought were fine, thrilling.
I was thrilled.
But you know, my favorite's probably Ghost Protocol still, with the Burj Khalifa sequence, but this one was, I'm not gonna give it negative. It's 2.5 bones.
There it is. Brother Lucas.
Yeah, I'll give it the same bone count, 2.5 from me. Yeah, I just thought there needed to be better pacing, because again, it's like I bring this up, I think every Lodgecast or Hot Take is like, pacing is hard. You know, you got to know how a movie plays, and it just felt like, yeah, you got some great action scenes, but it definitely drags in a lot of places, and you know, I was glancing at my watch a couple times, and, you know, it just made me miss John Woo or John McTiernan, or like people who used to know how to shoot action and really craft like sequences. I mean, you got to shoot out in this movie in the dark with flashlights, and on paper it sounds really cool, man. But when you're watching it and you can't see anything except Alec Baldwin getting shivved, it's like, okay, this is fine, but it just doesn't deliver enough for what I was like hoping for. So, you know, this definitely is a 2.5 bone affair.
Brother Justin.
Yeah, I'm going to have to echo the 2.5 bone chorus here. I want to like it more. I want to give it points for degree of difficulty. There's just something about it that it's impossible to give a shit. I think that's what the whole franchise is for me, unfortunately. There was some talk early on about Tom Cruise playing Iron Man before the MCU got off the ground.
Yeah.
And so I just can't help but imagine like how much more successful of an action star Robert Downey Jr. is in a lot of ways. He doesn't do his own stunts. He sometimes doesn't even want to show up and wear the motion capture suit. He just makes up shit. But his performances in action films in the last 10 years are much more memorable. And if you could picture someone with the charisma of Robert Downey Jr. and the fun doing some of those stunts, you got a 4-bone movie on your hands.
Nice.
But
okay.
in this setting, it's just it ain't working. It gets generic. It gets exhausting, and I forgot half of it already.
Wow. Okay.
2.5.
Fuck. Well, I wish I could be a maverick and do something different, but it's a 2.5 bone movie. It just is.
Technically well made, yeah.
It just is.
Maybe
standard.
10 years ago it would have gotten into 3-bone territory
fair.
because
Right. I mean, it's. I don't want to see it again. It's
Same.
like
I'd rather. You know what's crazy? I'd rather revisit Mission Impossible 2 and 3 now, because I haven't seen those since they came out. And I know they're universally reviled in some respects, but
I thought 3's like great.
But I have to go back to what Justin mentioned earlier. Is I do miss how De Palma and, for better or worse, Wu and Abrams had their own personal stamp on it. And you're right, McQuarrie, you know, I think got really, really lucky in his career by you know, writing Valkyrie, which is where he met Tom Cruise, and then eventually they did a Jack Reacher movie together, and the rest is history. But honestly, I feel McQuarrie's strength is character work, you know? It's the small moments and stuff. And it's just hard when you're, I think, painting on that canvas that large to kind of make it special, you know? Because you kind of get bogged down in so much other shit.
Well, now that we've all filed our 2.5 bone report,
Our homogenous 2.5 bones.
it's time for the Spence report. Let's give Brother Spence a call. We'll keep it short, keep it hot.
Yeah.
Hello?
Brother Spence.
Oh, what's up? How's it going?
What's up, man? You're on the Lodgecast.
Hell yeah, baby.
So we all just gave our full review, but we want to give you. It's a hot take, so we want to keep it kind of quick and spicy. Just give us your take on Mission Impossible Fallout.
Okay, so Fallout, I enjoyed it a lot. I would say I like Rogue Nation a lot better, but this one has way more set pieces and more action. Like it's like the closest thing we've had in years to something like Mad Max Fury Road. It's the most action-packed movie we've had in many years. But at the same time, I honestly feel like it's like as ridiculous as Mission Impossible 2.
So you need that you need that ridiculousness.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, like I like ridiculousness when it's done right, and I think I guess I love the Mission Impossible movies. Like I rewatched all of them like a couple of weeks ago, and 1 through 5, and
you're getting pumped.
6, right? This is 6 now,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's 6, yeah.
2 is ridiculous just in the way it's handled and the way it's executed. But 2 isn't any more ridiculous than the other ones are. And I think that's the thing with this one is this one the story is ridiculous. This story is bonkers dumb, but it's handled in a way where it doesn't feel like it is, and that's a good thing. You know?
Okay.
I don't know. Are we talking about spoilers here or what?
Oh yeah, we can spoil it.
Spoil everything.
Yeah, so I'm so glad they killed off Alec Baldwin. Bringing, next one, bringing Jeremy Renner for that position, or actually, this is something I was thinking about. I was wondering about while watching. Is at what point does Tom Cruise become the elder statesman of the film?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Right, because he's 57 now.
something like that.
So he's got a couple more in him for
How
sure.
many more? How many more before the student becomes the teacher?
It depends. If they've been going at the same rate they've done on the last 3, then you could probably get 2 or 3 more.
Okay.
But if there's a break in time and stuff like that, then I don't know. I honestly don't know. Also, this movie, Tom Cruise looked great in this one.
Yeah.
He looked great in the last 2. There was when I was watching them all back to back, I was watching Ghost Protocol. I'm like, man, Ghost Protocol is that's the one you can really see the plastic surgery.
Okay.
But then after that, you said he weathered into it.
He weathered into it. Yeah. I think that's kind of the right phrase to use there. What would be your bone count on this one?
Bones? How many bones would I give this movie?
Yep, out of 4.
Out of 4 bones? 3 bones.
3 bones. So you're pretty in line with us. We all gave it 2.5.
Yeah, I mean, look, Rogue Nation is that was the last one, right? Rogue Nation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rogue Nation, I would say is maybe the if I were to rank all the Mission Impossible movies, all of the Mission Impossible movies, I would have to rank number 1 just because it sets the stage and whatever, and it's the Palma, of course, and all that.
Of course.
But Rogue Nation is number 2.
Okay.
So, and I was hoping this one would top with any movie. I hope it's the best it can be.
Right.
I want every movie to be great. I want every time I go into a movie theater, I want it to be the best thing I've ever seen.
That's good. That's good.
And this one, though, I think it's just a little too ridiculous in parts. I think just a little bit. And I mean, it handles it well, but I think Rogue Nation is better.
All right. Well, Spence, that's your hot take. Thanks for
baby.
Thanks for bringing the Spence Corner back to the Lodgecast.
Sure. Are we seeing Predator? What's up?
Yep, you'll be in person for Predator, hopefully.
The Predator.
Yeah,
The Predator.
baby.
The Predator.
If I'm still alive, I'll be there.
All right. Sounds
Excellent.
good, man.
All right, love you guys.
Later,
Yeah,
brother.
see you soon, man.
Well, that's Mission Impossible Fallout for you. That's our hot take.
Hot take.
Lukewarm 2.5 bones, 3 from the eternally optimistic brother Spence.
God, what if Tom Cruise dies like Steve Irwin in some like on-set horrific freak accident in a future Mission Impossible installment? Wouldn't that be kind of fitting or poetic in a way?
It might be what he's going for. I don't know.
Yeah, like the final film, the final stunt. It's like Randy Quaid driving into the mothership.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah.
Because
He's got it in his back pocket. He's like,
like David Miscavige has another body and soul wrapper ready for him.
oh man.
Oh man.
Yeah, when Mission Impossible Endgame is announced, we all should have to be worried.
Well, that's a fitting ending to this hot take or supersized hot take. We will be back with another cinematic classic next week. It's gonna get dark out there for this next one.
Yes.
Oh man.
Stay cool, Lodgers.
Love and light to
Love
you
and
all this
light.
summer.
Love and light.